Hey everybody, it is Kneecap here, and in this video I'm going to be talking about the legendary changes in 7.3.5. I'm going to kind of give my thoughts on it, and then I'm going to kind of talk about legendaries in general. It's kind of how this is going to go. First of all, let's just go ahead and kind of read through all the changes coming to legendaries in 7.3.5, which is expected to come out the 16th, and probably at the latest the 23rd. So first of all, you can synthesize new legendaries. So you can create new legendaries in this patch. This is for people who frankly took breaks, don't play that often. You still don't have the legendary that you want, so you can now basically buy it with awakening essences. If you don't know what awakening essences are, those are currently what you use to upgrade a legendary from I believe it's currently 970 to 1000. But that we've used to upgrade them by basically 30 item levels since the beginning of the expansion if you got one during the first iteration of them. So to do this, there's now going to be a vendor that sells these things. I don't even know who the vendor is. It's going to be in Dalaran, obviously. So basically, you're still going to acquire the essences in the same way that you normally do, and we'll go through what those are. But now for 1,000 of them, and you're going to get them just before you're going to get them a lot quicker than what you can get them now. They still want people to be able to hoard them up and buy everything on the first day. So for 1,000 awakening essences, at least the way it's currently built, at 1,000 essences you can buy your legendary and try to get the legendary that you don't have yet or the one you specifically want. And you can also still buy the things to upgrade your legendary as well. Those now cost 300 instead of just 50 from the quest, and that's because, again, they're a lot easier to get now. So if you still need to upgrade your stuff, it should be easier. The ratio actually works out to where it's in your favor. And if you don't have one, it's going to, you have a chance to get it without playing a ton, farming heroics, running LFR, things like that. It is important to note that these do not affect your luck protection on getting a legendary the old-fashioned way. So you could get a legendary this way with the 1,000 awakening essences, and then go kill something and get one right then from your normal luck protection as well. So they're basically trying to catch everybody up, so everybody has all the legendaries. That's about it with that. As far as acquiring awakening essences, they've upped the amount that you get. You can get it from first heroic dungeon using the LFG tool, and Taurus bosses. I guess I should point out, for heroic dungeon, for that first heroic dungeon, you get 30 of them. For Taurus bosses, it's random between 18 and 36. From an emissary cache, so a world quest cache, you get 24 to 60 per one. A mythic keystone cache, you get 120. That's a lot. That's the cache inside your order hall, I should point out. Weekly PvP quests, that's 42. And first random battleground victory, you will also get 30. So if I just do some quick math here, 66, 126, 246, 288, that's 318 if I did that right real quick. So it would take you, because of the emissary caches, you could probably get one per week or so. Easily. You could probably get one per week by doing everything. So that if you're on the high side of the things as well, without actually breaking down the numbers. So it basically is, just think of it as kind of a one per week thing. You cannot synthesize the legendaries like Amanthal's Vision, Insignia of the Grand Army from quests, or the crafted legendaries, of course. There are going to be bind on account legendary tokens. These are only able to be acquired once you have every single legendary. So I'm a paladin. I have to have Retribution, Holy, and Prot, every single one, and then I could get bind on account legendaries to send to alts, which is nice, although possibly a little late in the game for that. So those are the changes. I think they're good changes. I don't think they really matter at this point. If you are like a super high-end player, you probably already have the legendaries that you want. You probably have every legendary for your main spec, to say the least. Now, if you've switched mains or done things like that, then maybe you still are kind of hoping for a certain legendary. Maybe you're just not a high-end, you just raid for fun, casually. So that could help you out a lot. So these changes could help. I kind of hinted at maybe they're a little bit too late because before I even get into that, what this is, in essence, is an admit of failure from Blizzard on the Legendary system. They've admitted this. Ian Hazanakis. I don't know how to say his last name. I apologize. He admitted on a Q&A that the legendary system basically was a failure. And this is just another admittance of that. And I've been super positive about Legion, and I continue to be. I think it was really, really high in expansion based on WoW standards. And I normally sing praises of the game. But in this case, legendaries were a failure. And this is just another admittance of the failure because they have to put this in because people still don't have the dang things that are needed to be, powerful in the game. So back to what I was saying. If you still need to get legendaries, you can get the legendaries. You can have them. It's just a little bit late in the game. Uh, they should have they've done catch up methods throughout the expansion to where uh, they increased the chance to get them. They did, but it's still just an RNG chance. You could be on the very low end of the chance every single time, and it doesn't feel like it changed at all. And then they also buffed up the non throughput legendaries, their stats, which was nice. I mean, it made them not worthless. An example is the plate feed is called Agrimar's Stride, and they just like increase your speed or something like that. So if you didn't have another legendary, obviously those boots after the changes are going to be better than any like epic you have. Because the stats on them are so increased that it just makes up for it. So they're better than any epic, but you're still considerably weaker than somebody that has a powerful throughput legendary. On that, I guess I'll just kind of get into the legendary thing as a whole because I do want to comment on that real quick. The legendary system, I mean, you've already heard me say it was pretty much a failure. I think that they're kind of going too hard in the other direction now. They're like, there's not going to be any legendaries in the next expansion. That's obviously going to be a lie. There's going to be some kind of like really hard to get legendary. Now, I don't think there should be a legendary system at all. So I do agree with getting rid of it. However, instead of just kind of forgetting about that whole idea of where you can just get powerful armor, I think they should go back to having crafted items be very important. Not very important, but just very powerful. Possibly best in slot or like equal to your best in slot or very close to it. The best example for myself was Storm Herald. It was a mace. I know I wasn't super hardcore back then, but I was a blacksmith. I worked really hard to get all the materials. I crafted one for myself. I upgraded it every time, and it was like my powerful weapon. It was almost like a legendary weapon. You just upgraded it. It started as one thing and eventually turned into Storm Herald. Similar how we upgrade our legendaries with these essences. And now things were different back then. It wasn't like the super like item level based system that it is now. The weapon just got more damage on it and more DPS and swing speed and everything like that. So they might have to rework a little bit how you do it. Maybe they does gain item level when you upgrade it or something like that. However, I think that would be really, really neat. Again, it could be for blacksmiths. They can make the two-handers and the one-handed weapons, and then, of course, some armor. So blacksmiths would be totally powerful in this. I understand that could be a little bit overpowered, but you could have maybe scribes make bows or something like that, and maybe like a staff or something. You could play around with it a little bit and have each profession make, not each profession, but all the crafting professions maybe make a little bit of an armor or a weapon or something that you could use, and you could kind of upgrade it as you go. And it wouldn't be RNG at all, so you want to have that issue with the community hating, as it was called RNG craft many times. So you want to have that outlash from the community, and you would boost up professions. It would be good for the gold economy, of course. People selling those everywhere if they were sellable, or you could make them soul bound like Storm Herald was, so you had to actually pick up the profession to make it. I think either of those are fine. It doesn't matter to me. You just make the mats very either hard to obtain, expensive to obtain, or time lengthy to obtain, or a combination of those things. And you can have powerful items that way that you upgrade as the expansion goes on. In that way, and it's not a legendary system obviously, but it's a way that you can have powerful items. You just can't make them necessary as the legendaries were. So they would all be like Agrimar's Stride, and they don't even have to have an effect on them, but they would just be powerful stat wise. And if there's a weapon from the dungeon that was more cool or better, then that would be better. Or from the raid, excuse me. But in my opinion, this would just be a good thing. I kind of miss those old days, but I digress. That's about all I have on these legendaries. Again, as a failed system, I'm kind of glad it's over, to be honest. I was kind of lucky I got some of my good ones earlier on than others, so I never complained super hard at the beginning of expansion, but I do understand how big of a failure it was and how frustrating it is for other players. But yeah, that's about it for this one, and everyone have a good
Hey everyone, thanks for watching. Thumbs up and sub as always. Also comment below, share the videos. Appreciate it so much. You can also check me out at Twitter at WoW Gaming Inc. and at Twitch with the tag name Kneecap Killer. So everyone have a good one and see you again soon.